Welcome, everybody, back to Interpop Podcast. And today, Ink's got a little special treat for y'all. A little special something, something.
I do. I have probably what's going to be the monologue of all monologues for you guys today.
A monologue of
A
love.
monologue of love, and I apologize in advance.
A monologue, if you
A
will.
monologue. I love that. And this monologue is specifically, actually, a couple specifics here. Number one, there will be a couple of tangents because this came about through some discussions with Isa, and I was thinking of just talking to you guys about like general characters in things, right? That on paper we really should not like, but that in the course of the, especially game, because that's what we're talking about today, but then in the course of like the game or the character arc or the storyline or whatever, you just have an obsession with instead. There's just a deep love and fondness there. And for me,
In other words, we're shaming all you weird hoes.
so I'm doing some self-loathing today.
We all are.
It's a little, some self-flagellation. It's fine. We're fine.
Self-reflection.
Little self. I've never felt more Catholic. Oh no. Anyways, for me, that pit of despair and love and confliction and all of the things is Thane Krios from Mass Effect. And so there will be several tangents here because I'm just going to talk about several characters on paper, but this is my love interest in the games, and I shall have no slander from all of the Garrus fans because we love Garrus, but this is my boy. So suck it. No, I'm just...
Not the drama.
No. Because look, Garrus gets so much love, and don't get me wrong, fully deserved love, without a doubt. Thane is, I don't want to say underrated, but like overlooked because
Underappreciated.
yeah, because he's really only a main character in the second game, and we don't get him as much in the third. Like, he's not a playable companion, and we only get him for like half a second, really, in the grand scheme of the game. So he's just kind of briefly there and then gone. So I get it, because Garrus is there for all three games. We love Bug Boy. However, not as much as I love Thane. I think to this day, right? I think to this day, I've played different options with the first game and the third game. He's always my romance option in the second game. I've like watched clips of other ones and done all the, things. I haven't done a playthrough with a different love option yet in the second
He's your
one.
true love.
He's my love. He's my true love. Unfortunately, he's dead. So there's that.
He was your true love.
He was my true love, and I
R.I.P.
can't have him, and it is what
So
it
funny,
is.
guys.
Heartbroken. Which is also
God.
part of why I think he gets overlooked, because he's a character who, from the start, we know we're not gonna be able to hold on to, right? But we're gonna get into that. First and foremost, we have to start with there will be spoilers, obviously. We just had some. Although it's not really a spoiler, because he tells you that himself in the first, 10 seconds you meet him. But that's...
okay.
It's not really a spoiler. But we have to give a little bit of some backstory. So all of the spoilers, if you guys have never played the games, this is usually where we'd say, stop and go do the thing. I don't know if you have time for all that. So if you care about spoilers, skip this episode, maybe.
Yeah, just don't listen.
To this one. Come back next week. if you have played the games or you don't care about spoilers and will play the games anyways, which you should because this game has about a million options, and the things I'm going to talk about may not happen in your playthrough because that's just how this game works, then stay and listen. But we're going to do a little bit of backstory on the games themselves because I have played them all 15 million times. Issa has not. Now, I don't know how much you actually know about them, though.
Very little. I've started the first one and I've started Andromeda. And when I say started, I mean I maybe have
You bought them?
definitely not over an hour into either one.
Ah, got you. Okay, which is like nothing in the
Yeah,
scheme of those games.
basically.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm very bad about starting games and never finishing them.
Which is fair in games like this where the game is it's storyline, it's cutscenes, it's a lot is happening. It's not like it's a big chunk of game. Like
It is
massive.
And I always mean to go back, but then my attention gets grabbed by something else. And then I
Yeah.
drop it after a
Yeah.
few days too, and then I'm on to something else.
Fair.
I'm very non-committal.
Well, in a game like this too, where you have to sit down and pay attention, it's hard. And when you're adulting, it's hard. I mean, I played these when I was in like, high school or whatever, or younger. I don't even remember now. But
Right.
so I had the time to sit and play them all and play them over the years, however many times I've played them or watched stuff on them. But like once you get older, it's hard to take the time and sit and do a game like that.
Yeah. Which gets sad because I love
Yes.
story-based games. I
So
really do.
much. I love them so
And
much.
I miss them. They don't make them like they used to, I swear.
No, they don't. And I think because AI is buying up all of the data, they probably won't make them. That's a whole different story. I'm not any into that because it's just gonna piss me off. Whatever. Anyways, back to Mass Effect. I was gonna say back to things that make me happy, but I don't know if this qualifies.
Things that make me cry.
Things
at
that
3
make me
a.m.
cry, and when I say cry, I mean ugly sob is what. So just real quick, the tiniest bit of backstory though, then for everybody who doesn't know anything about the games, just so everybody's on the same page. Mass Effect is the story of Commander Shepard, who is the captain of the ship Normandy, and this soldier in really, again, depending on your backstory, all of these things kind of are a little different, but who ends up throughout the course of the 3 games, finding out that there is this like race of big ass, what kind of remind me of head lice, but like on a massive scale, right? But like the design of them remind me of head lice, right? These,
Bad image.
Bad
Kill it
image.
fire.
which is honestly how I feel about anyways, they're called Reapers, which is how I feel about the Reapers. Because kill them with fire. These things suck. They're like massive. Think like again head lice, but like robotic-y looking, like right. Who just
Like the Terminator for head.
yeah, the Terminator of head lice, yes. Who come in and are the idea is that Shepard finds out that they're gonna like. In the first game, we're only fighting one, and I think kind of think there's just one. But then we find out, no. There's like a fleet of these motherfuckers coming to like destroy the entire galaxy. Like everything that exists will be gone. And then you kind of discover over time like all of these things about the Reapers and like what they are, and that this is like a cyclical thing, and that there was actually like you're living in this universe in which there are all of these ruins from the Protheans, and we don't know what happened to them, but we know they're connected somehow to the Reapers because we like activate them. Like it's a whole thing, right? And what happened to the Protheans was like they got wiped out by the Reapers. Like it's a cyclical thing, right? And so they're trying to like piece together all of the stuff that's happening or has happened in the past to figure out how to stop them. And so it's all about Shepard going through and trying to convince everybody else in the galaxy that these things exist, because no one's seen them and no one believes Shepard. And they're like, there's the the pilot of the ship, Joker, at one point says, like, they're not going to believe it until the fucking Reaper's sitting on their doorstep, essentially, which is literally what happens in the third game. Like, the dude is sitting on top of the Citadel, and that's when we're like, you know what? Shepard might have been right.
He might have been onto
Had a
something.
point. And so this is just the whole process, right, of the entire 3 games. And there's like a lot of other things going on, don't get me wrong. This is the very simplified, dumbed down version of the games.
Right.
That's the overarching deal. But each game has like different main things that you're working against. Like in the first one, there's one whole crazy dude that we're dealing with, and then in the second game we're dealing with, again, another crazy dude, but like a sort of collective. We're like working for his company. It's a whole thing. There's like specific stuff. Doesn't matter. Point being, Mass Effect is the game where all of these things are happening, and you make your choices, and your choices that you make, even from the first game, affect what happens in the second game, what affects what happens in the third game, and all of these things, all of these choices matter and change your playthrough of the game every time you play it, right? And of course, no such game is complete without love interests, and not just one, but multiple, and you get to make all of your selections. Now, the love interests come from all walks of the galaxy and are all types of people, right? So enter Thane Krios. We're going to jump right into Mass Effect 2 because that's where he starts in, who is a Drell, who I was talking to Issa about this before, is the idea of him is supposed to be a mix between like an exotic fish, they said, and then like a bird of paradise. So just have that image in your mind and then go look him up and see what he looks like, and you can see.
Fish and flower.
Right. And so in Mass Effect 2, what happens is essentially my dude literally drops into your life from the ceiling. You're playing a mission in which you're supposed to be going hunting for this assassin to join your team, right? We're going looking for this dude. And so this is what happens. And we're going to show Issa here real quick, a little clippy clip of my dude's first cutscene, where we get to see him for the first time.
This one.
Yes, it is. Where he gets to just jump right in. All right, here you go. You ready, Issa?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Stay put. When I'm finished dealing with this nuisance, you and I are going to...
We are gathered here today.
So this is our guy. Good.
I was hoping to talk to you.
I apologize, but prayers for the wicked must not be forsaken.
Oof.
Do you really think she deserves it?
Not for her, for me.
Oh.
And
Oh no.
this is our first interaction with Thane.
Dude, you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
This is our first
Don't beat
interaction with
yourself
Thane.
up.
Right. Now, keep in mind, this is a mission. We just climbed this tower, and I say tower, I mean this bitch is stories high, right? We're talking big ass tower. Racing him to get up because he is an assassin and is sent here to kill these people, clearly. Just trying to get our Asari girly dead. And so we've been racing him up to the top. We're like trying to hunt him down. We've been looking for him. And he just jumps right down from the ceiling into your life.
Next time he should jump into your arms.
Jump right into your arms. It'd be great. Great. So, this is how we start. Now, I don't even know where to start with him, right? The thing is, he's supposed to be the like rumored to be essentially the most skilled assassin in the galaxy, right? And a lot of them, the assassins in this world, I should say, kind of prefer to, just snipe from a distance, going with the more, I think, just get it done approach and keeping things very far away. As Issa just saw, that is not what Thane did.
No, that is very up close and personal.
Very
Bro
up
over
close.
here snapping necks.
Yes. And that is what he does. He prefers to be up close and personal, and he prefers this mix of stealth and like hand-to-hand combat and these like the little pistols and the things.
Is it too much of a stretch to say it feels like he's punishing himself by doing that?
So this is where things get a little crazy, right? Because on the surface, we should not be a fan of this man, right? He is, all we know is he is this assassin, and he's supposed to be the like most dangerous man in the galaxy, right? And we've clearly just seen that's true. And then he starts talking, right? And you're like, okay, that's not what I anticipated for you to say. Like, he literally ignores you to say the prayers, right? And then you're like, for her? What? And he's, no, those are for me. He is deeply spiritual, right? His whole thing is, not his whole thing, but like as you go on and learn about him and get closer to him, his belief is the sort of ancient Drell sort of beliefs, which are kind of lost. I think at that point, because the Drell kind of the younger generations have kind of taken to other, like the Hanar or the Asari or whatever sort of belief systems, whereas he still believes in the old gods, plural, because it's a polytheistic, the Drell religion is. So they have multiple gods. So he prays we see them a lot. There are 3 different ones he prays to. So like before he will start a mission, he prays to Amankira, which is the Lord of Hunters. And then there's also Arashu, or Arash, I can't remember how it's pronounced, but she's the goddess of motherhood and protection. And then there's Kalihira, who's the goddess of oceans and afterlife. And these are just some of the ones that we like see him pray to as the game progresses, which I am going to show you one of them because it's a really popular, I think, scene for him, or scene quote from him maybe, is him praying in one of the missions that you do before you go on it.
Got you. So does he get any power from praying?
No, so it's just him being spiritual.
Okay.
I can't find it. I'll go back and look for it later. But he will pray. It's this whole prayer he does to Amankira before you go on the mission with him. And it's this really, it's an interesting prayer. I can't find the clip for it, but I'll just like tell you, I think, if I can find it, but we'll come back to that.
Gotcha.
Anyways, and I'll talk about some of the other ones in a minute. But so this is how we meet him, right? And he is very spiritual, clearly, from the get-go, which for an assassin, right, can go either way. So we're in a place where we're like, okay, that's a little, this could go iffy, this could go either way, right? But you find out it's not this prayer for the wicked per se that he's kind of saying. He's asking for forgiveness after every kill he does. And he goes as far as to like ignore everything happening around him until he's finished doing this. And he looks at being an assassin as, I think one of the quotes is not quote unquote, but like essentially what happens is him saying, killing is an art and I'm a master. But he sees this also as this thing where, like, as an assassin, I'm the weapon and the one who is controlling me is the killer. And that's sort of how he, I don't want to say rationalizes things, but that's how he views this, because what we find out is my boy's been trained to be an assassin starting at the age of 6. So he doesn't really, yes, he doesn't really have any concepts of like honor and free will that have been given to him, right? All he knows is how to do this. And there's this whole scene where Shepard's like starting at 6, and he's like, no, my first kill was at 12. And it's like, okay, that's sure, that makes it better. That's fine.
That trope is always so sad to me, though. The whole like child killer trope, where they're like trained from childhood to be this expert assassin or expert killer, and then you like meet them and they're like stone cold. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
it only gets
always
worse.
Makes me so sad.
It only gets worse.
Oh,
No,
okay,
it gets worse. We're not done yet. That's not even the sad part, which it is. But so he's an assassin, and he's not an assassin for the Drell. He's been trained for this by the Hanar, because the Hanar are not necessarily capable of being assassins for themselves, right? And there's this whole speech that Thane gives when he's talking to Shepard about this, which is, you know, every race has assassins, but the Hanar just need somebody else to do it for them, because they're, you know, essentially mad slow on land. They can't do it themselves. The squid is not moving that quick out of the water. So they train Drell specifically. He obviously has become really proficient about it, but his first kill, not good. And it was just like lucky that he lived at all through that, essentially, right? And so then he just kind of got better and better as he's gone on. And there was a point in which we find out he was sent to assassinate this like Solarian war criminal, right? Who's just a target to him. He's going on about his life. He's doing his thing. And then as he's about to shoot, some other Drell, another woman, stepped into his line of fire. And so suddenly he's got this like unfamiliar set of emotions. He's feeling guilt, he's feeling shame, he's feeling regret, he's feeling uneasy. He's not really sure what's happening, because for him this makes no sense. What are you doing? Putting yourself in this line of fire for, like, you don't know this person, like, you don't have no idea what's going. So he suddenly, I think for the first time, couldn't, you know, kill his target. And so now we have this plot line of, okay, now I have to know more about this woman who's just giving her life to this stranger. And he starts stalking her, which is a whole other deal, right? Yeah. That's a whole red flags. Just bear with me for a second, though, because keep in mind, my boy has no people skills, right? At this point, he doesn't know. He has no.
He wasn't trained with those.
He wasn't
only killing.
He literally has no idea how to interact with people. So one day during the stalking and things, right, some thugs break into Gurley's lab. Her name is Erica. And I don't know exactly what happened or what their purpose was. I don't remember. But they come in, and he, obviously seeing this happening because he's stalking her, comes in and, is snapping dude's necks as he does. And so then he confesses to her that, like, actually, because she's like, okay, you're not here to kill me or smash things up or whatever. And he's like, no, I'm actually this assassin that you messed my shit up earlier.
Why you do that?
Right. And so she's actually really mad at first. But then he, like, kneels down in front of her and gives all his reasons and all this stuff, right? And says essentially something along the lines of, it's like, her life is devoted to, like, saving other people, right? He wants her to save him. Over time, of course, we have our nice little love story, and they get close, and she makes him feel alive, and she introduces him to free will, and so he's considering a life with her. And then we go through where he goes to the Hanar in Kindlers and asks them to, like, let him go live life, essentially, and all the things, right? And eventually they agree and they get married, and he has his son and all the things, right? All is well. And he just is, like, doing random jobs. Right? Because of course he's just got to do a thing, right? He's got his baby. He doesn't know what's happening. He doesn't know how to be a father. He doesn't know how to be a husband. He's just trying to, like, get through things. And he was, like, really distant and just, like, struggling to be normal. But they get through it. They do as much as they can. He's just trying to stay close to his family. But then over time, jobs, he goes farther and farther away from them. And one day he had to cross paths with these, like, Batarian slavers or something. I don't know. So it's a whole thing. I'm not going to get into all that. Essentially, he's made some people mad, obviously, in his careers as an assassin. And he comes back home one day to find house is trashed, wife is dead. As we expect from such a storyline. And he goes and, hunts down all the people responsible, and he just is, like, no longer in his right mind, obviously. I feel like that's a pretty sort of generalized storyline for this sort of character type, right? Where, okay, now I've reverted back to what I know. And he then he goes and kills everyone who's even remotely associated with the people who killed Erica, right? Like, he hunts down everyone. And rather even than doing his normal, like, clean kill, straightforward, get it done approach, he, I think, essentially just brutally tortured them all before killing them. Like, he went not just reverted back, but went worse. He, like, went all the way.
It was revenge style.
Right. He went revenge on that. And then he essentially, like, at that point when it was all said and done, went back to the Hanar and, like, tossed the memento that she gave him to help him keep his mind clear away and, like, all this stuff. And he was like, okay, I'm just gonna I thought I had a chance for something else, and now I clearly don't, right? And so this is what I'm just gonna be for the rest of my life. Enter Shepherd. We're coming back around, right? Enter Shepherd. Who, at this point, he's been living this life for quite some time now, right? Like, wife's been dead for a while, and we've been just going down this road and just being an assassin and all these things, right? Well, he tells us then that he thought that mission where we first met him was going to be his last one. He was just expecting that he was going to have been killed by the Asari's guards.
Oh.
And during these revelations, he also lets us know, well, actually, I'm dying anyways from this thing called Keppel's syndrome or Keppel's disease or whatever it is, which essentially is this thing that it affects Drell only specifically, if that doesn't make it worse. When the Drell were like evacuated from their home world to the Hanar home world, which is how, the Hanar ended up training Drell for assassins and the whole thing. Being in this like really humid climate for a long term fucked up the Drell's lungs and damaged their other organs. And so it eventually just causes death. So being in this home world, or not being in someone else's home world, essentially being on this world that they are not built to live in, they just eventually die. And it causes, it shortens your lifespan drastically, essentially. And there's no cure for it. Like the Hanar are working on a genetic adaptation because obviously they need the Drell for various reasons.
Right.
But at this point in time, no cure. So we find our man and we meet our man, and then immediately we're told, your man's dying anyway.
He ain't gonna be around much.
Your man ain't gonna be your man.
Enjoy him while you can.
So that's where we start. This is where we start. And so this is why he agrees to join your mission against the Reapers or the Collectors or whatever the fuck. And doing all of these things. Because he's like, yeah, that's a suicide mission. But you know what? I'm going to die anyway. So at least if I die in the process of doing this, I'll have redeemed myself like just a little bit from some of the things I've done right. So he's like, sure, why not? Essentially.
I have no fucks left to give.
He's like,
Might as well.
Fuck this, it's fine. So, but he does. He's really spiritual and all the things, and he explains, and this is, I think, one of the things that were like really interesting to me is that for the Drell and his religion and the way he views things, he sees the body and the soul as like separate things through his faith. So his body is just this tool or this vessel, and so people can do whatever they want with it, right? So he thinks of himself as like as the weapon, like a gun or the knife or whatever. But his soul is something entirely, and so that's why we see so much of the prayer and the meditation and this. And so that's where, for me, it started to be like, oh, this is a really interesting character. That we have this viewpoint, and that we've somehow, again, I don't necessarily want to say come to terms with like, this is what I've been groomed to do, but that like, I know who I am as a person, and I know the feelings I have towards the things that I've done, but I also still have to do the things that I'm doing, and I am just like, I have to do them not of choices that I'm making, but that someone else is. It was just a really interesting viewpoint for me. And so that for me is where I was like, okay, I need more conversations with you. I need more things happening, right? And of course, at this point, we don't necessarily know all of these other things about him. So that was the point for me where I was like, oh, okay, I have some more questions. I have some more questions about you. And then we start learning all of the other stuff about like, the kid and the wife and this and all the other things, right? So we get this point of like, okay, now I need to know more about him. Now I'm going down the rabbit hole. And they start like telling you all of these things, right, about himself over the course of conversations and throughout the whole game. The thing that made it like the real punch to the gut to me, because it's one thing to have that like child killer arc, right? And all of these things. The thing that makes it particularly cruel to him is the fact that Drell have an eidetic memory. And so for those of you who don't know what that means, He remembers everything, every little thing perfectly, cannot forget it, and he can recall it all. So every murder he's ever done, every moment he's ever experienced, all of the things, coming back and finding his wife, all of these things are stuck with him permanently.
Stays in there.
Perfectly. Like, not even a matter of over time it can dull what you remember. No, he's stuck with it all. So when he's recalling this to you through his eidetic memory, and the way he's telling it is like so matter of fact, because he's recalling the literal exact memory of these things that are it hurts. Like, a lot.
Incredibly sad.
It hurts. So now I'm feeling some type of way about him, because it's all starting to come together a little bit.
My dude is so tormented. Let him get a vacation.
So tormented. He gets no rest. So much so. There's like a whole point. It's like his loyalty mission, which your loyalty mission is like a point that each of your companions get. And you can choose to do your loyalty mission and you can choose not to. If you do your loyalty missions, there are certain things that, happen or don't happen or happen differently or whatever. For Thane, his loyalty mission is stopping his son from taking a job as a hitman and going down the same path that he did. Because in all of his efforts to have prevented his son from doing these things, he still took this job. And so that's our loyalty mission, and it really hurt.
Kids will always do the one thing you don't want them to do. You're like, hey, you can be anything you want to be, just not this
Don't
one.
do this
and
one.
they're like, hey, that one looks pretty good.
That sounds good. That sounds good. It's like, no,
Sounds like fun, Mom.
don't do that. And so, right, I'm like feeling for him so much at this point. I'm like, I'm doing all the things. I'm helping parent your child now. I'm like, we're in it. We're in it. And so, when we do this, then he's opening up more to you, right? And then you can start really like heading down the romantic path, right? Because up till this point, we've just been hitting the friendship, right? Like, if you're doing all of these things, because Shepard, Thane thinks of Shepard, regardless of like whether you're the male or female version or if you romance him or not, thinks of Shepard as like the first and probably only friend he's had in the like 10 years since Girly Pop's been dead, right? Like, this is the only person he's opened up to about any of these things. Which that also hit me in the feels. I was like, I just want to give you a hug. Of course I'll be here.
I just want to give you the world.
Everything you need. Yes. And so if you then are the female shepherd, you start flirting with him, right? He starts doing this thing in which he refers to you as Siha. And initially, he didn't really tell you what that means. He's like, a little flirty, like keeping you curious about it. Like, and the significance of, like, we don't really know what's happening. Now, if you recall, I told you about Arashu, the goddess of the motherhood and the protection, right? Mm-hmm. Girly has some warrior angels. Siha, as we eventually learn, is the name of one of the warrior angels of the goddess Arashu. Fierce in wrath, tenacious protector, like all of these things, right? And he is calling you this warrior angel.
Oh, no.
So much. Because of course, right, like, we are also, if you want to look at it, right, in this route, especially depending on some of the choices that you've made as Shepard and from your backstory as well, Shepard also on paper is a character making like really questionable decisions, depending on what you do, of course, right? Like, we are also, we're killing people, we're protecting people, we're doing this, like, things are really complicated. And so they're like already sort of kindred in this way, But the nickname it hurt a little bit. Because, of course, Shepard's like taking on this task of saving the galaxy because nobody else is doing it. And it just, it hurts a little bit, you know?
Yeah, it's so sad but poetic and also cute, and like I could see how there's just like a jumble of emotions all in that one, like just that one nickname.
Just that one, yeah. That really sealed it for me. I was like, okay, that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. And then of course, there are the little things that make me laugh about these interactions with Thane, like Morden Solus, who is our resident scientist on the ship, right? Who notices that there's that attraction going on if you have this, right? You can ask him for advice about the Drell species. And Morden then advises you that that's a little complex. And there's a chance of a rash, maybe some itching, and, you know, if there's some oral contact, it may induce hallucinations.
Whoa.
Okay, so my boy is poisonous too. Cool.
It's like licking a frog.
Like, wait a second. Literally, they're brightly colored too. There's just a little, think poison dart frog, a little mixed in there, and that cracks me up. But it's one of the things that I love about the game because they think things like that through. Because, like, obviously, any sort of interspecies relationship is gonna have some sort of complexities. But the fact that they were like, you know what, hallucinations might be on the list.
Right, like that's such a hilarious detail to drop in there.
So funny. And so Morden's like, yeah, here you go. Here's some, you know, medicinal remedies. Here's some information regarding positions. And I guess on this whole list. And it cracks me up. And that's just it's just a whole scene that you don't necessarily get with any of the other characters, and it just makes me laugh. And it's this, like, idea of Thane telling you, yeah, I've never been involved with anybody, obviously, of a different species or anything, but I am, like, looking forward to figuring things out with you together. And, like, it's all of this stuff. It's the way he is with you, from, like, holding your hand to trying to figure things out together. The nickname, it's the way he talks to Shepard that really sealed it with, like, that no matter what he's doing, he stops and makes time for Shepard. And it's these little things. There's literally a quote. It's one of his most well-known ones and most talked about ones. That is, time is short for me, or time for me is short, or whatever it is, Siha, but any I have is yours to take. Like, literally, whatever you want from me, I would gladly do. And it's like, it hits me in the feels every time. Like,
it's so sweet. Oh my god.
So good. So good. Because knowing that you're going to die, and then the admission at one point, I think towards the end of it, maybe in the very last one, that he admits that now he's afraid of death because of this, like, relationship, and that he wants to be with you. And, like, keep in mind, right, we first met him, he thought he was dying then on that night. Like, he's been come to terms with the fact that, like, he was gonna go and it was gonna be soon, and now he's afraid. It hurts. And so
Gave him a reason to live,
literally,
only to know that that's going to be taken away.
correct.
Like,
And in Mass Effect 2, right, it ends and we're alive, right? If we're alive, maybe he hasn't survived the suicide mission. That's like a whole, again, everything depends on your choices. Let's say he survives, right? He goes to the Citadel, which is like the big city hub, doesn't matter anyways, and he's at this hospital. And obviously his disease is really progressed. And so we ask when we do find him again, like if we, he'd come and join us, to which he refuses because he knows he's in the end stages of his disease. And he essentially says, like, no, you need the best. And I'm not at my best. And so that hurts again. And he talks about like how much time he has left. And he's like, I think the longest, his favorite is what he says, is like, yeah, 3 months to 9 months. I'm like, oh, okay, got it. We're this is it. This is done for. So we're starting off Mass Effect 3 like no go on my dude, because up till this point I'm thinking there's a chance, right? There's a chance. We've got some of the best minds possible. There's a chance. Oh, nay, there is no chance. They give us this prognosis and they're like, nope. And then you go on another mission with him. Well, sort of. You go on another mission in the Citadel, and what happens is like the Citadel is under attack, which is the place where he's at in the hospital. And it's under attack from Cerberus, which is this like really crazy organization that we were talking about in Mass Effect 2. And they're in control of all of these things. And so Thane lets you know what's happening. And so you come back and like do all this stuff. And you're hunting down this one dude, Kai Lang. And you get... because Kai is also another assassin, for the record. There's a point where Kai is, who's there to like kill the Solarian counselor or something specifically, and so Thane sneaks up behind him, and they battle. Thane, despite being fucking sick as hell, keeps up. And so we're like rooting. We're like, okay, this is great. Oh, we're going to fuck this guy because we've been following him this whole time. He's our pain in the ass. Like, we need him to go. So we're thinking like, okay, Thane's getting ready to die anyways. He's going to take care of Kai Lang and it's going to be awesome, right? No, he gets stabbed.
Ugh.
Lang escapes. He falls unconscious. We're calling for help. We're not running after Kai. He's rushed to the hospital. He's in the final stages of his disease already anyways. His son is donating blood for him. Doesn't make a difference. And so... and this is the thing that really seals it for me. We are in his final moments now, right? So Shepard and his son get to go in and visit him. And so what happens is that you get asked to pray with him. So Thane starts this prayer, and this for me is this whole prayer. Because of course, keep in mind, right? Like I did the romance on my first playthrough, right? I did the romance with Thane, right? And so I made... actually, I should probably explain a couple things, right? So, like, because there is no Thane in Mass Effect 1, right? My romance option was Kaden, who kind of sucks, but that's really a story for another minute. I didn't want to romance Liara or Garrus, because I don't even know if Garrus was an option in the first one. I don't think so. But Liara kind of annoys me for different reasons.
Oh.
Not...
she's like the golden girl. Everybody loves her.
Yeah, I don't like Liara. But keep in mind, like, I love Jack, but this is a whole different thing that I could get into. Liara I love as a friend,
Gotcha.
but like as a romance interest, not a fan. Didn't like that.
Gotcha.
But so my romance option was Kaden, right? Who in Mass Effect 1, right? Like, you develop this thing, and what happens is there are the two humans, it's Caden or Ashley. One of them has to die in Mass Effect 1. You get to pick which one it is. You literally decide who it is going to be. As Shepard, you decide. Not a matter of, like, the game, but, like, Shepard has to make the call.
Damn.
And so, I chose to save Caden, obviously. And I went through, I was like, you know what? I've made the choice to save him. Let's follow through on the romance option and we'll see what happens. Because there were a few good points. I was like, okay, we have potential. It's fine. And I don't think Eros was a full option, but I really don't remember. And in Mass Effect 2, because what happens at the end of Mass Effect 1 is we think Shepard is dead, right? And so in Mass Effect 2, it starts out like, okay, Cerberus actually saved Shepard and kind of put Shepard back together a little bit. And that's a whole questionable matter for a different day. And we're like, is Shepard really Shepard? I don't know. It's a whole thing. So in Mass Effect 2, there is no Caden. He is not a part of the crew, right? And he thinks Shepard is dead and he's gone off and he's done all this whole thing. And we run into him on this planet and he's kind of a jackass to us because we're with Cerberus. And then he's a jackass to us. And then, like, it's this whole falling out of things, right? Because he's not going to be on the crew. He's not a part of this game. So I was like, okay, well, fuck you too. That was a waste of a romance option in the first one. And then in the second one, I'm like, oh, Thane, better option.
Yes.
Everything's worth it. We've come to this. This is the one, right? And then in Mass Effect 3, Caden comes back, or Ashley, depending on who you've saved, right? He comes back. And how this works, right, is when Thane is in the hospital, right, and we go and visit him, we don't visit him, we run into him because we find out he's there. We're going there to visit Caden, or Ashley, in my case, Caden, right? I'm going to visit Caden because of this thing that happened and he gets hurt protecting me, or like saving my life. And so I'm going to go and visit him, right? And we find out from Thane that they've met in this hospital.
Ooh.
Which for me is an awkward moment because these are just my ex meeting my current.
Yeah.
So it's this awkward moment where Thane is like realizing from some of the things that Caden is saying that like Caden is talking about me, and the person he's saying he's like waiting on this woman to come and visit him or hoping this woman will come and visit, and he's like putting two and two together. Asking you about it.
Oh, that is so painfully
So
awkward.
And I'm like,
I would never show my face again.
I'm frantically trying to. I'm like, what are I don't want to lose him. Like, I know he's technically dying anyways, but what do I do to not lose him?
Don't let this be his last memory.
I'm like,
please.
no, fuck that guy, fuck that guy, fuck that guy. I don't want. And this is why I love Mass Effect, right? Because all of this stuff overlaps like this as far as choices goes. So I'm like, no. And then of course Caden like becomes a part of the crew, and like, and you can, either choose to like, especially if he was like a romanceable option. That's the context I'm going to be talking in, because for me, first playthrough, Caden was my ex, and so I am making the choices, and I'm telling Thane, I'm like, nope, that's over, that's done, that's a no-go, like all this stuff, right? Which was true. And so on my first playthrough, right, I was already pissed off at Caden, and then this whole awkward thing, and I'm like, wow, you almost cost me
the love of my life.
Love of my life.
You son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. And so you do have the option to like romance Caden again. So on my first playthrough, I said, fuck that man. No. And so I didn't. In this moment that I'm getting ready to tell you, in my first playthrough was also the reason in that first playthrough that I never romanced anyone else in the third game. On my first playthrough, right? Because obviously I've like,
right.
But in the first one, this moment, nobody else. It was a no-go. So what happens is Thane starts this prayer, and his like last thing is like, there's this prayer of redemption that I want you to pray with me, and you can either choose to pray with him or not to pray with him, right? And Koliat, who has is his son, who's gone down this, I think, road of like spirituality after that whole Breathe Hitman experience. So we all start this
That'll
prayer,
do it.
which we start the prayer right to Kalahira, who, as you may or may not recall, the goddess of oceans and afterlife. So right, so we're praying for this, for the afterlife. And it goes, Kalahira, mistress of inscrutable depths, I ask forgiveness. Kalahira, whose waves wear down stone and sand, Kalahira, wash the sins from this one and set her on the distant shore of the infinite spirit. And so then he is having this pain or coughing. I don't remember what happens, but he can't continue. So then his son
No.
takes over and continues the next couple lines. And he's like, oh, you speak like the priest do. And he's like, nah, I brought a prayer book.
Sorry, I had a cheat
I
sheet.
brought a prayer book. And so then
I wrote it on my hand.
I wrote it.
marker.
I have it. I can hear it in my ear. They're telling me what to say next. I have them on speed dial. And so then he's like, no, I brought the prayer book. And he asked the commander, if you want to join. So, like, you can either join or not join or whatever, which, of course, I did because this is the love of my life. Anything you want
Right.
from me is what I will do.
You fucking better.
Right. Anything you do. So then the last part of it goes like this. Kalahira, this one's heart is pure, but beset by wickedness and contention. Guide this one to where the traveler never tires, the lover never leaves, the hungry never starve. Guide this one, Kalahira, and she will be a companion to you as she was to me. Oh. And so this is the prayer that we're saying, right? And this is what we're saying. This is Thane's last moment before he dies, right? Because he does die. And so he's gone. And so Shepard asks why the last verse of the prayer said she. And so then Koliat answers, well, this wasn't for my dad. He's already asked forgiveness for the lives that he's taken. This wish was for you. And I sobbed. Sobbed. And I mean, just sobbed. And so then Shepard says goodbye, and essentially tells him, he won't be alone for long or whatever. But if you've had this romanceable option, and you've done all these things or whatever, and you've gone down the romance option, rather than like you won't be alone for long,
Right.
she tells him, I'll meet you across the sea. And again, sobbed. Sobbed. Because, of course, at this point, this is what you do, like, if you, have, like, not... Because at this point, right, I haven't had a romance with anyone else the entire game because my ex is Caden and fuck that man. And so he's
Right.
also been, like... He's not a part of the crew yet, so there hasn't even been a chance to start. So at this point, I haven't had another romanceable option. So this is what I have told him in my playthrough is I'll meet you across the sea. Couldn't romance anybody else.
No.
Couldn't do
These writers are criminals. They are diabolical.
Diabolical.
How are you doing this to people? What is wrong with you?
Right. And also keep in mind, right, like, Thane is telling me already, like, because I've had this conversation with him before, like, about Caden, and I've been, like, candid, and I'm like, no, it's over, and we were together, and we grew apart, and, like, it's done, I don't want him, right? And there are two options to go about that, because either you are, like, no, I do want to get back with him, there is still a chance, or no, fuck that man, right? And so regardless, either way, this is the important part, and again, also why I love Thane. Regardless of which of those options you pick, Thane promises you that while Caden and him are in the hospital or together, he is under my protection. I will take care of him for you. And like, I only have a few love lefts, and you, Shepard, are my last, and I will do what I can for you. And it just hurts my heart every time I think about it. Think about it every time. Because I just that's the thing that is endearing about Thane to me through the entirety of his storyline. That's how he is from start to finish.
Right.
And that's how he treats you, and there's never a question or any moment where and the only other person that I think has this from start to finish storyline where it's I'm with you and anything you need is probably Garrus. But there's something for me missing from Garrus's storyline. And that just, I don't know, that I just feel so much love. And it's just
because there is so much, so much love in that story, and it's so tragic.
And so then, of course, right? So after he's gone, and fuck that guy for this.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. And after it happens, so there's this memorial wall on the Normandy 2, because of course, when we get a new Shepherd, we get a new ship. So we have the Normandy 2. In the Normandy 2, there's this memorial wall that you can go and look at any time. And as your game goes on, new names get added to the wall, depending on choices and stuff, right? From like Ashley or Caden or whoever from the very beginning to like all of the people in, the second game. Like, so all of the choices that you've made, you're seeing them on this wall.
Right.
And so after.
Which, by the way, that's another diabolical.
Yeah, diabolical.
That is crazy.
Diabolical.
But okay.
And you can like, it's an interactable wall, right? Like you can go up and click on it and zoom in to see all the names as they get added. It fucking sucks. Anyways, so Thane's name gets added to the wall. And depending on like, obviously what happens. So like it changes like whether or not, certain people die, or like, because obviously if Thane was dead before or these certain things happen, then Kai just gets to kill. So it's like a whole thing. Anyways, but so yeah, so now he's up on the wall. And so that fucking sucks. And the most satisfying thing for me on my first playthrough of the entire series is when we finally catch up to Kai Lang. And Shepard kills him. And I mean, as far as I recall, I think stabs him. I think it's kind of violent.
Good.
And when she does, she utters the most satisfying phrase, I think, in maybe not the most, but almost the most satisfying phrase in the entire game for me, again, first playthrough, which was, "That's for Thane, you son of a bitch." And it
Yes.
just so, I sobbed all over again, but it was so satisfying because
Vengeance.
fuck you,
For Gotham.
like, that's what I said first time too. And I just, I love him so much. He's just very deep, but I think for me it's because he's so self-reflective and self-aware. of who he is and the things that he's done and the life that he's lived and
Right.
all of these things that I can't help but love him.
And he makes a sort of not like not like peace with it as in like I'm okay with this kind of thing, but a peace as in like, and this is where I'm at and I'm gonna keep going, if that makes sense.
Yes. And it's things like, again, another one of his quotes is like, the universe is a dark place and I'm trying to make it brighter before I die or something. And like removing evil is not the same as creating good. It's like he's a very self-aware person
Right.
of the things that he's done and the way the world is viewed, and he knows. And it just, I think especially because I was playing a character like Shepard and making such hard decisions and things like, again, between Ashley and Caden, you're making direct choices that result in people dying, or you're making direct choices to kill people, or you're doing all of these things, whether they're for, kind of good reasons or not or what. But it's
Right.
having somebody like Thane as this sort of pair for Shepard was chef's kiss for me. It was so good. So that's my man.
Damn.
Obsessed with
That
him.
is not not one of the most heartbreaking stories.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to hold a memorial service right now.
No, I know. It really is just one of the most intense storylines I think I've ever come across in a game, as far as like just fully heartbreaking, but that in the most satisfying way, right? Like the most satisfying way. Because on paper, right, he is every inch the cold assassin. I mean, like, that's just who he was, and that's how we met him, and that's who he's admitted he was.
Right.
But because he is also a living, breathing thing with emotions and a soul and all of these things, and he, like, and because he's run into you, and the storyline, the progression, it's really
Chef's
fantastic.
kiss.
Chef's kiss. Yeah. It doesn't get better.
I feel like a lot of assassins, they get the whole like they're cold by like they're either from brainwashing or because they're suppressing their emotions. But he don't have that.
No. And that's why I loved it. There was no suppression of emotions, even. I mean, it was just, he didn't have them, sure, to a certain point. Or he wasn't aware of them. He'd never felt them before, because that wasn't anything, a life that he had. But the second those things were introduced to him, and that even, and carried with him as he was still doing all of those, so good. So good.
So good.
So good. I mean, like, how could you not love a character like that? And anyways, that was a lot of time going over this whole start to finish. Sorry about that, guys, so you could have his storyline, because that's my man. All of that is to say, most of the characters in the game series are like that, where on paper should be some of the worst people or, species or whatever. But you see this reality in them. I don't want to say humanity, because I don't know what that, they're not all humans, but like there's this reality in them
Personhood.
where everything in the Mass Effect world exists in that beautiful shade of gray that is life. And characters aren't always done that way. They're, especially when you're dealing with such intense characters like assassins and things like that, and people try to like justify it, like you said, with the like, oh well, there's just cold and there's no emotions and they don't. But that was the complete opposite approach. It was, I am praying for the souls of the wicked. I'm praying for myself. I am the wickedness here. captivated from the start. It was like he's
And,
dropped
like,
from the ceiling.
but I love a good morally gray, because don't get me wrong, characters that are like all evil or are all good, there can be characters that are like really good and enjoyable that way, but I love a good gray, because with a good gray you can get so much deeper into that character. And also it feels more real because people are just morally gray.
I mean, yeah.
Most people, we're all a little gray, okay? None
Yup.
of us are white or black. I mean,
No.
not racially
Not
speaking.
racially.
Like,
Right, right.
we're all a little gray,
We're all
okay?
gray. Yeah, yeah.
So it helps you to connect with those characters more too,
Yes.
especially if you have like similar faults. So I love a good morally gray, and I love when
Yes.
it's done in a way where you get to explore such an in-depth and moving character.
Yes.
So
And it's just the fact that there are so many of them. I mean, like I said earlier, Liara was not one of my favorites. I like Jack a lot because Jack is a character who, from the start, was, I don't want to say trained because not broken. I mean, the entire point of Jack was to exist, to create, and bring out just the absolute worst in her, to forcibly have her be a monster. Essentially, was the entire goal behind Jack, was to create a monster, just a powerful monster, and who went through hell and back, and who was, when you meet them in Mass Effect 2, she is just angry, obviously, right? Because monster is what we've been. That's where we're at by the time we meet her. But who is just one of the strongest characters, and I don't mean physically, that I have come across, especially as far as females go, which is part of why I love Mass Effect, because of the way they treat their female characters, but who ends up in this position of, like, through meeting Shepard and through going through all of these things, by the time we hit Jack in Mass Effect 3, when we come back to her, who is essentially Mama Bear, and who is, like, training these kids and is doing, you know, essentially the exact opposite of what was done for her. And it's things like that, where, again, on paper, Jack was kind of trash. Like, on paper, was awful for, you know, reason, like, designed to be that way, made to be that way. So good. So that's my little Mass Effect spiel, because I've just been thinking about it this week with characters that I, like, have been obsessed with and should hate, but really don't. And that's only, like, the teeniest, tiniest little snap. I've gone on just a whole monologue. So sorry, guys. But that's the, like, barest clip of characters and, like, information and all the things. Like I said on my first playthrough, I didn't romance another character, because what I did do was what I did do was, there's a technically non-romanceable character in Mass Effect 3. Like, you don't get to actually have a romance with them, but if you make all the right choices and you flirt the correct way, I guess, there is, like, the chance for a little, like, what is effectively a one-night stand at the end of it all. Right? Insane work. But
But that was an excellent spiel.
yeah. Anyways, so that was my, I mean, I feel like it was a really boring episode, but unless you're
enjoyed
somebody
it.
who's, like, fixated on storylines. So good. So good.
If you love a good story, you'll love this good episode.
You'll love
and
it.
you'll love Mass Effect.
Yes, and if you stuck with us this long through my monologue of my hyperfixation from the Mass Effect world, because yes, all these years later, I still have all of this information floating around my head for no reason. Go play all of the games, make all of the choices. Come tell me who your favorite romanceable option or non-romanceable option is in the game, because there are 10 million. I need to know. But I think the monologue is out of my system now. I think we've come to the end. I think that's for Thane,
You feel
anyways.
good? Feel better?
I feel a little bit. Well, no. I feel sadness, but that's okay.
I feel objectively worse than when we started.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But I've gotten it out. I've talked sufficiently about him.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for listening.
Yes, thank you.
Go follow us on socials, TikTok, Instagram, all the stuffs.
Next week's episode will be a lot happier and a lot less monologue-y.
Don't promise them that. Don't ever give them promises we can't keep.
I feel like we do a lot of monologue. I feel like I do a lot of monologue.
And yet they keep coming back. They love it. Hush. Don't apologize.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.